These are the three stones in question. This one isn't a question because I've used it. It's very nice. It's Norton 8K 1K combo, India, and a lapping, flattening plate for your natural stones or whatnot. It's got a tool edge. I bevel ground it, full bevel, have a burr on the back. This is silicone carbide, certainly. It's flat. I recently got this called American Mutt from Bioxo Knife Company. It's made of a composite of waste materials from sharpening stone manufacturing. It's mostly silicone carbide with trace mounted diamond. And right out of the box, this thing has tooth. More tooth than this, more tooth than my Extra C 120 micron, and this 120 Atoma, which is a beauty. So this is that like ceramic matrix. It's one of the few stones I'm going to use oil on because the swarf will glass it up. I was just testing out the other day, and this side is already smoother, but with the oil I still got that tooth. Take the burr off. And obviously I've worked this a little flat already on the back, but I haven't done bevel work on it yet. Just rock to find the bevel and I pull. Right beyond the edge. See the metal swarf already. That's really what kills these stones in the end, is you get a lot of metal swarf from using it dry, and they glass over. They'll essentially become more of a upper range coarse stone. And if you get enough metal swarf embedded, you can even polish probably. But it's tough to get it out after. You have to use like kerosene or a solvent or something. It's good. Light burr on the bevel. That's pretty much it. I got a pretty ragged edge on there still. I'm not using a lot of pressure at all. You do not want to dig on a coarser stone. You don't have to. Just let it work for you. Looking good. You want to be careful of cross-contamination. Generally, always prefer using water. That's me though, so. I'm going to jump right to this India stone. So these I lapped with silicone carbide powder, which I got into in the last month. You get a pound of, I got this off a website, 120 micron, 220 micron. A little goes a long way, and it is the fastest method I've found yet. You want to throw an Arkansas stone down and lap it, your diamond plates, you know, the Arkansas stone's going to laugh at them. It's just going to tear them up. But silicone carbide powder on a flat surface, I haven't found anything quicker. So, one way that I prefer to hold my stones is just some kitchen drawer rubber. When they get wet, I'll put a little rag down. This is a little thirsty on the water. I think you could use oil on this too. Actually, it's thirsty, so let's let that soak for a minute. Let's look at this Norton. This was nice. I mean, for a tool edge, this could be an end-all be-all, and the 1,000 to 8,000, it's a pretty kick in a combo, honestly. Still got oil on my blade. It's all right. A little ain't gonna hurt it. Should see the old washitas I get there caked in oil. This is the one that really has to soak. This thing could soak for an hour. It's still dry out when you take it out. So you need some water. So all these stones I lapped, obviously, but on the 2 bench stones and the lapping plate too. All 6 faces. This face I lapped to extra, extra fine. This face is 120 micron, so we're going to start at that. Good smooth feel. It's nice. Pretty good so far. I can feel the burr on the back. It's finer. The edge is looking more consistent and less ragged. There's a burr. When I pull it off, metal's ripping, so be gentle. You can go into it. It's not a standard practice. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're a little far along in your sharpening journey. Rock to find the bevel. Lock your shoulders, elbows. Rock with, below the waist. You'll be very consistent. So far, yeah, and the burr is almost not there. Just a little bit. That's all you need for a bevel. For the flat back, you don't need to lap this whole thing. It's good. This India stone is on par with what I expect from a great mid-range. I think this is the fine version. And this is going to be the finer face, which is notably smoother to the touch. Even the visual, the sound, the feedback, you can hear that. It's like maybe just a little light glass. Not quite glass, but so essentially with lapping 2 faces on the stone differently, I'm getting, a combo stone. You got a aggressive face and a finer face. And eventually with extended use, both those faces will break down to equal, I would imagine. No hair popping yet, which I would expect. A lot of times when I get done at the end of my sharpening sessions, will pop hairs. Sometimes the tool edge won't pop hairs. Even though I've sharpened it as best I could, it just missed a little beat, but it still cuts wood just fine. It's a nice affirmation of the job you've done, but it is not always the deal breaker. So we're going to start on the 1000 face, the Norton combo. This has to be some kind of, clay matrix. I'm not really exactly sure. But these retail for $100. You're getting something that's going to be flat and true with the edges taken care of for better than retail condition at better than retail price. I think this would be an excellent addition to someone's, sharpening setup. Wow. Polish coming up. Of course, the edges are a little duffed. If I was really concerned, I'd go back to my low mid-range or starters, get it flat. But I'm just going to cheat lightly by just rocking that edge. So light, and I'm already in the corner on it. It's enough for me. Same there. I don't want to alter the blade too much, but this is just getting the job done. Not perfectly flat, I know it, but look, the edge is perfectly sharp. What do you think matters more? Wow, I've almost honed the bevel grind away. That's a pretty heavy burr on the back. This is probably on par with XX Fine in feel and action a little bit. Probably a bump finer or two, in my opinion, lightly off the cuff. Sometimes I stroke in between the final stones. Sometimes you'll be surprised. Just never know when they're going to pop. Starting to pop. Little tuggy, not popping. So, 8K it is. Let's go for the final run. The reason I'm parted with this stone is I recently got into straight razors. And these, I mean, obviously you have a double beveled edge, which is much less than 25 degrees. But they're really light in action. And they've been a great way to kind of evaluate the upper mid-range to honing stones. And I haven't even done a bevel set on this yet, but just an example of what I've been up to. I got this Naniwa Snow White 8K, and it is several factors finer than the Norton 8K. It's a magnesia bond. It's nice. So this, there's a little bit of that clayish feedback. That's so close to glass. You know, it's feedback's consistent. These are incredibly consistent stones. A lot of people that have used the synths for years and years will tell you that a Norton 8K, their grit micron size is a little whack. It's probably sub 8K, but in practice for a tool edge, this is very nice. Like that's a good polish. Still away from my edge, so just lightly. I mean, if I'm rocking this, I'm not even going half a degree or a degree if I can. It's so fine. Just getting into the corners. I guess one of the downsides of the stone is it's softer, so you're going to need to chew it up more often with a lot of work. You know, I didn't find it was incredibly fast wearing when I was honing a razor. Would probably wear faster using tool edges on it. When I lapped it with silicone carbide powder on my plate, it was a fast fizzable, you know, it slurried up pretty quick. Like, it's not soft where like I could gouge it with my nail, but you definitely want to be careful. Just feels like sliding on like iced butter or something. Will it cut? Will it pop hairs? Like I said, the hairs don't jump on some of the best edges I've seen, but sometimes, you know, this was all under, what, 8 minutes tops? Well, 15 minutes. Well, it's time to sign out. It's going to take a while to upload to YouTube. Thanks for watching. Hope they'll leave the comments on in the video. And if you have any questions, you can ask them down below.